Welcome to the 2017 Teacher Caps presentation of The Young and the Techless, a presentation about equity and equality in the classroom.
Students deserve to have timely and engaging tools to access for their success in the classroom and in the ever-changing world in which they live. In order to be successful and compete in our world, students must be proactive in their attempts to find the best ways to gather and use knowledge. They also must promote themselves as capable, driven individuals and have the ability to network with others to stay competitive.
Some of the cross-cutting themes that will be used in this presentation are equity, self-advocacy, the one-to-one tool or multi-tool classroom, technology versus no technology, and special projects.
Protosphere is a virtual reality world students in college or high school learn about a subject in an environment suited to the field of interest. We've used this in our class to share ideas and talk about topics for that day.
Equity is fair and just treatment of everyone. It is also making sure that there are equal opportunities for every person. We believe that equity is very important because every student should be able to have the same opportunities for their future. No matter where kids go to school, where they live, or any other factor, all students should be able to have the same enrichment.
The opportunity gap refers to the differences between a school's access to educational resources needed to be successful in different districts and communities. Students come from all different backgrounds and should be at least exposed to some technology out there in the world. Increasing funding for high-quality resources such as iPads or even more computers can help students in the classroom. Even having just one computer can help students.
Students should be able to have access to Wi-Fi even though they might not have it at home. Some California schools are coming up with the idea to install Wi-Fi in school buses so students can spend time doing homework or connect with others on their ride home from school. This advancement in technology closes the gap between students who have Wi-Fi and can do their homework and can get their homework done at home and versus the students who do not have proper access to finish their homework. There is an increase in these types of buses so students are not left behind in school. School districts around the country are gaining student numbers because funding for education has been cut. Also, the number of student populations in certain areas is increasing. So students have to stay on the buses for longer amounts of time. The students have the same ability to do all different things that these students need to do their schoolwork.
South Korea and Finland have the top teaching styles in the world, but they also appear to be essentially different from each other. South Korea's style consists of hard work all the time because their culture teaches that to be successful and have a good life, hard work is necessary. This can make life easier for kids when they grow up, because if they have hard times, they will be able to get through it with the hope that the other side of the tunnel will be brighter. Finland's style consists of more freedom because they believe students learn more outside of the classroom than inside a classroom. They only have class for about 4 hours a day. Children learn best when passionate about what they are learning about or when they can relate it to their lives. Important qualities they both have in common are the utmost respect for teachers. Every single person should receive the same education, but they should learn it in a way that works for them. In South Korea, the teacher teaches, but the students essentially learn the subject on their own and in whatever way works best for them. In Finland, they all learn the same things in school, then pursue things they are passionate about while not in school. They have a mix of equality and self-advocacy. Every single person works differently and learns differently, so this is a good way to get the same information into everyone, but convey it to the students in a way that benefits every single person. For example, bring an apple. Some people like their apples cut into slices, some take them with cheese slices, some with peanut butter, and some eat apples whole. They have their own voice in how they want to eat the apple, but in the end, everyone gets the same nutrients found in the apple. Each person just ate it in a different way. Information is the same way. Some people take in information different ways, but they should all get the same amount of knowledge. We need to bridge the gap from high school to college because not all high schools have the same curriculum and some are further behind than others. Not all colleges have the same respect either. Harvard has a lot of respect where community colleges have less. In Finland and South Korea, all colleges have the same respect and credibility.
When a child is a self-advocate, that means he or she knows their strengths and weaknesses and work for the benefit and success of himself or herself as an individual. Self-advocates know why they need to work hard for their own success and how to achieve their goals.
Here are some 21st century skills that we think are critical for students to learn how to use. First, communication, which is the ability to share thoughts and ideas with others. Next, collaboration, working together to solve problems or fulfill new ideas. Critical thinking, discovering new ways to approach new problems. Next, creativity, the ability to use imagination to work through challenges. And lastly, choice. Students should have a voice in their curriculum design.
Self-advocacy means standing up for yourself and fighting for what you want. According to Green Mountain Self-Advocates, by being in a group, you can help change attitudes and you can also have a stronger voice. Often enough, students are not given the chance to voice their opinions, and we believe it's an important part of the process of change to allow everyone to have their own opinions for what they believe will make their lives better. By being in a group, you have a stronger voice than being by yourself. You're often able to make a bigger impact in your school and in your community. For example, administration at my school, which is Blue Valley Southwest, did get rid of announcements. And now we did sign a petition that finally got past administration, and now we have announcements again. This is just an example of how students wanting to change something can actually get it done. All in all, more voices are stronger than one. Using a website like change.org can drastically change systems in your school, and everyone can be given an opportunity to have the same head start as everyone.
It is key to note that these methods of technology integration are adaptable, able to be manipulated to fit the needs of a diverse array of classroom types. No matter if your classroom has 1 computer or 10, integrating technology into your room is still possible. Although it is not always necessary, technology can be a wonderful way to unlock creativity, enhance attentiveness, and also promote connecting with classmates.
One tool that can be used in the classroom is GoFormative. Students should be able to track their growth in each subject area and be able to recognize when they need help with a concept. There should also be an adequate parent-teacher-student communication. On this website, teachers can create assignments and students work on them. Teachers can watch students work through the app or online, and the students can also ask questions privately. GoFormative is a free quiz website. There are other ones, including ClassKick and the computer site Self-Advocacy. This website is important to use in schools because the teacher can get information back right away on if the students are learning a concept, and many skills can be taught in schools.
Here are some tools you can use if you have a limited technology in your classroom. Daily starters. Every day, the teacher will use this website to get the class started and review what they learned the day before. Scholastic News is a great way for students to learn without the resources about what is going on in the world and knowing important current events. Teachers should be able to incorporate technology into the classroom, but kids without access at home should not be required to use technology because it's not fair to this kid without the resources. Teachers need to accommodate every kid. To have kids using technology in the classroom with only 1 computer, the teacher will have a student every day navigate the computer using websites that incorporate the daily lesson plan. Another source is having a group of kids use the computer to make a crossword puzzle out of vocab terms they are learning, and then project it up to the class and have the class do it together.
Leadership roles should be implemented into classrooms so students can teach their peers as well as teaching themselves. It helps teach self-advocacy skills while also learning the material for the class. Technology is a great way to do this. For example, a student could create a digital presentation to share with the class. That being said, no matter whether there is only 1 computer in the classroom or a classroom with laptops, or tablets for every student, there are always enough resources to find online that can be useful for either of those circumstances. I think the most beneficial use of technology is for the teacher to have at least one of the computers with them and then a way to project things onto the front of the classroom. If students also have their own computers, then that is not only an extra benefit, but it is also not and necessity. Times are changing, and if classrooms have access to some type of technology, they are more likely to learn the material of the class quicker than more efficiently. Even just a single classroom computer can make a huge difference and can be very beneficial. Resources such as Google Drive, student emails, and Prezi could always be available because these sites require students to be independent and keep up their assignments on their own. If a classroom has the privilege of keeping technology inside of it that can be accessed by any student while they are in the class, then I think this should be used. But if teachers are assigning lessons that require technology usage at home, then some students may not have access to it depending on the area that they are from.
There are many ways to have a productive classroom using only one computer. Technology is a tool to help achieve success in the classroom, but is not necessary for learning. One way to incorporate technology into the classroom using just one computer is to do stations around the room with the computer as just one station for students. This could be accomplished in small groups. It doesn't matter if you have one computer or 12, you can still integrate technology into your classroom. If you are in a one-computer classroom, you can utilize 15 to 20-minute stations with your students. Around the classroom, you can have 4 stations, one being a computer station. Split your classroom up evenly and have everyone visit each station at least once. The computer should be located at a central location so you as the teacher can easily monitor and provide assistance. You can use websites and apps like Tumblebooks and Chidtopia as examples of a computer station. If you are able to utilize these resources, then integrating technology into your classroom can be a breeze.
Another one-tool idea for the classroom is to go online and look at virtual museums and view student news. Virtual museums give students access to history museums and art exhibits if they are unable to travel. Many different museums across the nation have online museum tours that students can use to learn information about history and different pieces of art. CNN student news can be watched in the classroom because for students that don't have technology at home. They can learn what is going on within the world because they might not also have like internet access and TV access at home. CNN student news can also be interactive and the students can discuss what they learned afterwards.
Educational technology has been the spark for countless arguments regarding how conducive technology can be to learning, and if technology does more harm than good. There is strong evidence from either side. We are not here to take a definitive stance, but to advocate for the opportunity for students and teachers alike to be exposed to technology and get the same chance as every other school in the country.
The use of apps and websites to help connect students to the classroom when they're away benefit kids that are homesick or even on vacation. Also, having apps and websites to connect students can help students connect to that class when they are gone that day, or to give them updates and reminders on what homework they have to do. A good example is Student View. Student View is when you can plan ahead of all the times and lessons and activities for that week. Also, it gives you your grades and then also a calendar where you can link notes and worksheets so that students can print them off and do them while they're away. You can also leave notes for students, also can be contacted by email so that it's easy to ask for help. Another great example is Canvas. Canvas has discussion boards that close out at midnight, a calendar to let students know what's going on, and then even grades can be put on Canvas.
More websites that can be used are Turnitin.com, which will turn off at midnight, is able to see if work was plagiarized, students can see their grades and receive feedback. Or Blackboard. This website can be used to inform students of what is going on in the unit. Assignments that are due can be turned in on the website. The textbook can be linked under the unit along with articles, videos, and other materials that the students will need. You can be contacted by email and it keeps track of what forms have been done.
Using apps like Socrative, Kahoot, and Quizlet as study tools help keep students engaged and make them want to learn in the classroom. Technology in the classroom is a good way to get students engaged in their learning. Most kids in this generation grew up around the use of technology, and using it will help them stay focused on their work. Using Kahoot is a good way to help kids study for their tests or keep them engaged in what they are learning. So Creative is a website to make a test for quizzes or an assignment you need help on. It is a very good way to have the students study for a test and learn the information. Quizlet is an online study tool that students can use to make flashcards for studying for tests.
In flipped teaching, students watch videos made by their teachers at home and do homework and ask questions during class. One of my colleagues had a teacher who did this, and they really enjoyed it. It was a great time to have in class to ask my teacher for help. The main problems with this is that some students don't have access to technology at home or don't really learn well with this method. This problem could be fixed by having one teacher do flip teaching and another who teaches the same subject teach traditionally. Students then can choose the teaching style they prefer or that works best for them when enrolling. That way, students can work at their own pace, have time to collaborate, sick days don't interrupt learning, and class time is for asking your teacher questions and getting help from classmates.
SchoolTube is a website a lot like YouTube, but it is safer and more interactive. Teachers can assign projects to their students, and the kids can make their own videos and post them on here. This is another fun angle on presentations. It is also not necessarily for teachers to find videos to help teach their kids, but instead of a more driven for the kids to create their own. Storybird is an adorable way for kids to get creative with their writing. It can be structured activities where the kids can be given a prompt or can be a fun outlet for them to display their independent writing and making it into an ebook.
To make sure students are still active in learning, show educational videos to get a different perspective on the lesson. You can also use websites. The teacher can pull it up on a smartboard to have games and challenges for the students. Some links can be a brain break, and some can be for educational purposes. Another fun and engaging website that is a big hit with video games is more of the Magic School Bus website.
A resource to use for brain breaks in the classroom is GoNoodle. GoNoodle has a ton of different videos that students can watch and can sing along and dance along with. They are able to have a little break from learning, but they still are using their brain and paying attention in class.
Plickers is a system you can use to collect data for your students. You only need one device and the deck of cards pictured on the right. You preset the questions, and then each side of the card represents a different letter, and the students hold the card with the letter that they choose on top. The teacher then scans the classroom with one device, and it picks up the answers for every student.
Personally, I'm not a huge fan of technology becoming such a large component in classrooms, especially the classrooms of younger children, grades pre-K through second. But I do see a few ways in which certain forms of technology, used when properly, can benefit for students and teachers in these younger grades. Even though learning online is such a great way to enhance students' education, I believe that it does not have to be used every single day, especially when these younger kids do not have their fundamental core subjects and information fully established. Great Schools is a website that gives parents and teachers valuable information through articles about what to look for when wanting to integrate technology into these younger grade levels. Brain Pop Jr. This website engages students through animated movies, learning games, interactive quizzes, primary source activities, concept mapping, and more. It is award-winning resources for ages K through 3, which touch base on the kids' learning and understanding of numerous topics. These topics include science, math, social studies, English language arts, technology, engineering, arts, music, health, reading, and writing. Not only can this website be used in a traditional classroom, but also blended and flipped learning style settings, while still focusing on the individual's learning and growth.
Sources for technology in elementary classrooms include Osmo, which is an iPad accessory where you can use math, words, tangrams, coding, and drawing. PebbleGo has simple interactive articles. You can have passages read aloud, watch videos, take quizzes, and more. EDU Creation is an iPad drawing or writing app where you can write with your finger to practice words and type sentences. AR Flashcards is also an iPad application with free printable flashcards used with the free app.
There are also many resources for students to get connected around the world. ePals help students connect to other students around the world as they are like pen pals. GeoGuessr is a fun game to help students see what different places there are around the world. You can learn about different environments and different countries. This app can be used a lot in like language classrooms or history classrooms to learn about certain events or the language and culture. Other resources include Google Earth and ThingLink 5. Creating a profile including interests and questions about different countries can help the students learn about the culture and what's going on in certain countries. And all the resources are related to using technology to study the information that you can't get into like as in depth anywhere else.
Every year, there is an Educators Rising conference that travels around the nation to draw in future educators as a whole. We luckily got the opportunity to travel to Boston to represent our school along with other students. We got the chance to present a topic that we are extremely fond of, which is integrating technology into the classroom. Not only did we get to present at a national conference, but we got to sit on other presentations and gain some insight on new resources in the classroom.
We're currently planning on Educators Rising Regional Conference for students who want to be future educators. We are setting up speakers to come hold sessions, vendors for the students to visit with, some great keynotes, competitions, and more. We are working on making this from the ground up, coming up with a theme and designing the website prior to school even starting. Now, since school has started, we are working on all the different pieces to work together, including programs, competitions, keynotes, scripts, and a Safari travel guide. Using this Safari travel guide we came up with, what they will do is that the students will go around and visit a station and they will get a stamp, and once they have all the stamps from all the different stations, they will be entered in a drawing. This helps engage the students on really what they're going to be learning. We will give out prizes.
Amazon Echo is an interactive device that allows you to get the title or author of a book, answer basic factual questions regarding history or math, spell and define words. It tells the time, weather forecast for your location, plays prime or purchase music and playlists. You are able to listen to audiobooks, you can play vocabulary games, translation games for foreign languages, and is beneficial with preparing for an interview. The Amazon Echo is a great resource to have in the classroom because it gives students the opportunity to figure out answers on their own. Through a series of questions, students can learn new information, ranging from math problems to translating a language. This is very beneficial, especially if a teacher is wanting the students to be self-sufficient.
Last spring, we did a STEM lesson virtually with Spring Hill via Skype and Manhattan Ogden via a double robot. We designed a lesson over aerodynamics using the 5th grade standards that had to be taught. We Skyped with the director of elementary education in the school districts weekly to plan this lesson from the ground up. We threw ideas at them, and they threw some ideas at us, but we designed the whole lesson on our own. The students worked in groups to build parachutes that they had land on Mars, which was a box or bag over a box fan to make a funnel. We would be willing to open up a few more schools in the coming years, but dedication would need to be there.
Thanks for listening to our presentation. Follow us at Tammy Fry, at We've Got Class, and at BV Caps.